Hey everyone, it's the Nitty Professor. Patina or grime? That is the question for tonight. Did a little reading online. These boots, the Alpine Portage leather moccasin boot from Red Wing, has been really serving me well. I'm going to give you the model number of these. It is the 8828. And as I was doing a little research for this video, I read about the leather. And one of the things that it touts about the Alpine Portage leather is that it is very water resistant. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been really getting a lot of use out of these boots lately. You can see there's mud. So the situation that we're dealing with right now, at this point in the winter, with the global warming and the winter just not staying as wintry as usual, is we had a lot of snow last month. And then some of it melted, and what's left, so because we have a gravel driveway and we have a lot of dogs, so we have a lot of problems with dirt, grime, poop, and overnight it freezes, but then the following afternoon it melts. And going in and out, trying to work on, I like mulch stuff and shovel away water and try to keep up after the dog's dirt and all that kind of stuff. I've been wearing these boots a lot just because, I don't know, they're really comfortable. They're good on ice with this sole. This traction tread sole is just a good kind of softness to work well when it's really cold, and there's just enough tread on there to be helpful. They're extremely comfortable. I haven't had these a whole long time. I've just had them a few months. Guess I got them in the spring. And they're comfortable. The leather's been really serving me well, but it's kind of ill-treated, as you can tell. I also have a history of lawn mowing. That's grass stain on there. So we'll see what we get off. I have still some of this Lexol pH leather cleaner. I've been using that on my boots over the past few years. And we're going to see what comes off of this boot. Now, one of the issues that I have is, so I had this leather lace that I think I might have picked it up at like a cowboy boot store or something like that. And as you'll see here shortly, this lace, it's from India. I think it could be from China. In any case, it's not made in America. And it's not great. I really need to get on. If you guys have a good source, I think one of you said, oh, Rose Anvil, I really need to buy some quality leather laces. I found some good brown ones at an Army supply store. What do you call that? Army, I've forgotten. It was in Atlanta. They're great. They're brown. I want black ones. They really look good on these boots, I think, the black. But as you'll see here, they're kind of leaving their mark on the tongue. So, going back to our question, is that patina or is that grime? I think some stains on your leather, they're just going to happen. That's just going to be part of the landscape of a quality leather that you're going to wear a lot. You're going to get a lot of use out of it, and some staining is going to be permanent, and that's kind of what we mean by patina. So we'll see how much I can get off. I'm not gonna just use a ton of this leather cleaner, but just enough. It's not like a saddle soap. I think a saddle soap might be people say it's like a little harsher. Some of this I can tell it's it's like melted dog poop that has grit in it. It is organic, right? There's no sin against having poop on your boots. If somebody was working on a farm, right, you would just expect that. So right now we're in a situation where, because my son is door dashing, trying to save up some money, there are 5 dogs, and they kind of have an impact on the surrounding environment where we let them out, and sometimes we're reticent to just give them the run of the place because there's a lot of ice, and I don't have a fence, so we just have to deal with the environment that we have. And the driveway, like I say, is gravel, and there's a lot of sand in the gravel. Now, what happens is, because it's winter and we did have some serious hard freezes, the surface ground is frozen, and with the little kind of small bit of melting. Like today, I think the high was 35, right? And there was a little sun. So we did have some melting, but it's not like significant. So none of the water is sinking in. It's just staying there on the surface. And that's the problem. In the summer, you know, you get a nice rain and it just sinks right into the ground. But now it just stays on the surface because guess what? At the top layer of the ground, several inches deep, is frozen. So I can tell just by doing this quick cleaning, definitely making a difference. I'm finding I've got something back here that won't come off. So maybe it's patina, right? We'll see. Try to get the sole cleaned up a little bit too. Plus the stitching. Let me see if I can get the stitching in the view. The stitching, you know, it's supposed to be yellow. Well, look at that. That is hardly yellow. And there's definitely dirt embedded in there. So I'm going to try to use the edge of this washcloth and at least get in there some. I could probably, you know, get something like, I don't know, a screwdriver and try to dig the edge in there a little bit deeper. I don't think the stitching is ever going to be yellow again. So, you know, that's another kind of patina. Now, if I was to have these resold and the welt redone, then that could change, right? So there are ways of, like, quote unquote fixing this kind of change in the way that the boots look. But again, part of it is, it's like kind of what you want, that you're putting your mark on the boots and you're enjoying them so much that they sort of suffer the consequences. But yeah, so the black on the tongue I was talking about, it's not really going to go anywhere. Now, obviously, this is going to have to dry before I can condition it. But the Red Wing website, they do recommend that you use a damp cloth, which is kind of what I was using here. I just used this terry cloth, washcloth. And because I had the kind of grime I've been describing, you can see there's still traces of, I'm not sure what that is. I kind of think that's grass, because when I would mow the lawn, sometimes my heels would touch each other depending on what I'm doing. But it's definitely, it's back. It looks a little bit more like its old self, which is good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is grass. The grass stains are, like, if I really wanted to work hard, I could probably get rid of those. The question is, number one, do I want to? Number two, again, to what extent can I just consider that part of the patina, or is that like damage, you know? So it's, part of it's a point of view kind of thing, and part of it's just like being realistic. I mean, if you look at the toe there, that grass stain, it's kind of, you know, it's like a crusty layer. I feel like if I really worked hard at getting that off, I would damage the leather. And that, you know, it's like, what's the definition of damage, right? I could over clean it and damage it, and I could also damage it by mowing lawn with them. But they're utilitarian boots for me, so that's what we do. Now, this boot I cleaned off earlier, so it's dry, and actually, I'm pretty pleased. One of the things that, I got some fuzz coming on there, the wrinkles are going to be darker when you're talking about patina. That's like just part of the human impact of the wear on the boot. And obviously my tongue is very wrinkled. Some of you have asked why I don't use a kiltie, and reason is it's just not comfortable. I just don't feel the need. Like, it doesn't bother me that the tongue is wrinkled. It just makes it more comfortable. And again, you see the grass stains on the front. Not a whole lot we can do with that. But the next step now is conditioning, and I bought this Venetian leather balm. In fact, I think some of you guys recommended that for me, and we'll see. I don't know. I have a cloth here. I think I'm just going to apply this with my hand. So it's, I don't know, it's just like more direct. But I like to just really work it in and try to get kind of a, you know, a decent layer on there. Work it into the leather really well. To make it happy. We don't want to over condition, right? We don't want to just like layer it on to where it's just going to slough off. But on the other hand, you know, these boots have been through the ringer, so I don't have a problem with kind of slathering it on there a little bit. I can always wipe some off, right? And I want it to soak in between, you know, I don't know what else in that mud, right, in the water. I've had salt. I had to use salt on the walk, so there's been salt. I use a pet-friendly kind of salt. I don't know, you know, how much damage that causes to the leather. So I really think it needs a good drink. It needs a good drink. And it's pretty easy to, you know, just work this into the leather. And you can buff it up a little bit. I was looking on the Red Wing website, and they had some stuff on Patina, and the boots that they had on there that exhibited it, they look kind of shiny, and I was like, that's interesting, you know. It's like maybe they kind of, you know, did some polishing. Could be. I'm going to see what happens when I rub this in with the terry cloth that I have. But it does seem like the Venetian shoe balm is giving us a bit of a gleam, which is kind of nice, you know. They're going to look closer to new anyhow. Like I say, Patina, I like Patina, but I like new. It's like a happy medium, right? To have it be kind of newish looking. It's like it's got my stamp on it, but it's also looking like I'm taking care of them. And really, that's what we want, you know. It's like, I want to get years of wear out of these boots. Again, they're comfortable. They look great. It's a wonderful leather. It's very serviceable. It protects my feet. It's fairly water resistant. It's just crazy what it can take. And by taking care of it, you know, I can get years of enjoyment out of these boots. So, yeah, I think they look pretty happy now. Might be a couple more spaces like the stitching where I might want to get some of this excess off. But overall, work on this seam right here. Terry cloth, I don't know. I do pretty good with terry cloth. It seems to have a good sort of consistency for working in the leather balm and getting it into the cracks and crevices and stuff. So it's interesting. I've got this little place here. It's just where I bend my toe, but it's almost like it's kind of dividing itself. It's just part of the patina. And let's compare now. So this one is drying off here, just to kind of give you, got the Venetian leather balm on it, and this one doesn't. So you can definitely tell the difference between the two, I think. Yeah, for sure. Now, there's like a slight color change. And of course, this leather balm is also, it's going to dry a hair. But it's not like it's darkening the leather or changing the character of the leather. I think it looks really nice, actually. So, I'd be curious what you guys think, you know, about where does Grime stop? Where does Patina stop and Grime begin? One of the things that I was reading was that the human, body oils that, you know, go into leather as you wear it over the years is part of Patina. And that makes a great deal of sense to me. And, you know, these kinds of products, too, these are largely from animals as well. All it says is that it's fine oils, right? But neat's foot oil is one of those fine oils that commonly goes into a leather balm. So, you know, my skin makes oil when I mow the lawn. But in any case, let me know your thoughts on the issue of Grime versus Patina, and specifically this Alpine Portage leather, if you have any experience with it. I'm very happy with this leather and the way it's holding up, and now this is the first time that I've cleaned and conditioned it, and I think it looks really great. And I don't know, I might subject some other boots for the next week or so to the grime and mud that's outside besides these. But I don't know, these have been really cutting the mustard pretty well. So they're very serviceable boots, and now that I've gotten cleaned up, they look great again. And the next time I clean them up, they're going to look great again. So y'all take care, and we'll talk soon. Ciao.